I get asked all the time, socially, during the course of the day, I've been hurt, how do I know if I need an attorney? And my answer usually follows one of two answers they give me to the question I'll ask. And the question I'll ask is, were you hurt? And if they say yes, then I say, well, then you need an attorney, because at the end of the day, you're probably not prepared to know how to present a claim properly to the at-fault driver's insurance company, and you probably are not going to get the compensation that you deserve to fully take care of all the things that went wrong in your life, the bills that mounted up, the wages that you lost, and proper compensation for your suffering. And so if that's the case, then how do you find an attorney? I mean, there's attorneys on TV, there's attorneys on the internet, there's attorneys everywhere you go. We're like roaches, we never die. The point is, there's a lot of ways to find an attorney, and there's a lot of good attorneys, and there are a lot of mediocre attorneys, and there are some that are not so good. And the way you search for an attorney is not so different than the way you search for any other service or product. Social proof has become extremely important, and that phrase has only been one that's around for the last 5 or 6 years. What was social proof before really there were reviews on the internet? What was social proof before you had the biggest, baddest, fanciest website? Social proof was, hi, my friend, hi, my relative, blah, blah, blah happened. What do you think? Who do you know? You go to your family, you go to your friends, you go to your pastor, you go to your butcher, and you say, this is what happened to me, and do you know an attorney who might be able to help me? I acknowledge I do marketing. I want more business, good clients that I know I can help, and I do a lot of different things to attract clients. But at the end of the day, I do appreciate that the marketing stool that has 3 legs is clearly the most important part about any relationship, and there is a relationship between the attorney and his or her client, and that is that people want to do business with those people they know, like, and trust. So you don't know anybody, how can you like them, and certainly how can you trust them? Well, that comes back to the social proof. Read lots of reviews. I mean, come on, when was the last time you went to a restaurant you'd never heard of before you went online and checked out the reviews? There were 81 5-star reviews and 4 that were 0 and slamming the place. Well, those are the outliers, and you're going to that restaurant. On the other hand, if there were 81 slams and 2 that were good, you're probably not going there. So lawyers have reviews. Well, what if they don't? That doesn't mean they're not a good lawyer. That doesn't mean the attorney there isn't someone you can know, like, and trust. Trust comes from your cousin telling you they were involved in an accident, or their best friend was involved in an accident and their lawyer was unbelievable. Well, I have one thing that I believe is key and first and foremost above all else, and that's testing. You pick up the phone after you've gotten some feeling, be it through reviews or looking at the attorney's website, seeing what their experience is, seeing if they handle the kind of situation you have. Something now has motivated you to look at this attorney, not necessarily engaging yet, but looking. So you pick up the phone call is always going to be free for an injury type of case, and you see if you can get the attorney on the phone. And you see if the attorney will spend time with you if you can get them on the phone. And that they can't necessarily spend time with you right now doesn't mean that that's not a good attorney or that they're not someone that you can know, like, and trust. But the response should be, oh, Mr. Jones, Mr. Smith, new potential client, Miss White, thank you so much for calling. I am a little bit in a situation where I'm attending to this. Can I call you back in less than 1 hour? Please stay by your phone. Please don't go out and walk the dog. If the baby needs changing, tell so-and-so to change the baby, because I'm calling you in 1 hour. That's a fine response. Now, many attorneys, they think they're too important to get on the phone with a client. I think that's ridiculous. I think an attorney should answer the phone if a client is calling and wants to potentially hire that attorney. I think that's an honor. Someone is coming through my door, my phone line, and asking me for help. What does that do for me? One, immediately I might be able to make some money. I mean, yeah, I like to help people. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, but I have a family to feed. I gotta eat, just like you do. Need a roof over my head. I want to make money. I'm not going to be shy about saying that. Number two, you've given me an opportunity to impress the living bejeebies out of you. And then you're going to be my best walking advertisement. So, darn tootin' I'm getting on the phone with you if I can. And I think that says a lot about the attorney. Is the attorney willing to get on the phone with you and spend some time? Now, from a psychological standpoint, because I do deal with people who are injured, I do understand they want to tell their story. They want to tell you all that happened. They want to tell you there was discrimination. He didn't listen to me at the scene, the cop. There was this. And hopefully I've never disrespected anybody, but at certain points in the conversation, I might say to them, look, I want to hear everything you have to say, but the purpose of this phone call is to see if I can help you. So I can just get quickly, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quick facts, and I can give you some advice. I can answer the questions if that's all you're looking for, and that's fine. But let me see if I can help you. And right now, I don't need to know what you had for breakfast that morning and why that affected you because you burped, and as you were burping, they hit you. I'm trying to be, a little bit funny on purpose here, but when you call the attorney, don't expect that they're going to listen to every single thing. That's not really reasonable. There is a time and a place, and if later you find out the attorney didn't want to hear the whole story, that I think is telling also. But what should you be looking for? You should be looking for someone who has empathy, someone who has patience, someone who is experienced. You have an injury claim, you don't want a divorce lawyer unless a divorce lawyer does 5% divorce and 95% personal injury, but you just happen to see an ad that said divorce lawyer. Well, how would you know unless you go to the website and see, it's only 5% and 95% he represents accident people. These are, you have to do your homework. There are fine lawyers under every cover, everywhere you go. They're fine lawyers. You can find them in the yellow pages. Do they have yellow pages anymore? Oh my God, I'm aging myself. You can find them on the internet. You can find them on TV ads. You can find them on radio ads. You can find them as a best source, again, in my opinion, from those who have worked directly with the attorneys, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your butcher, your baker, your imam, the pastor, the rabbi. These are people who have your best interest at heart and aren't going to give you just some guy that they never heard of and just that was top of their mind. It's a process. If it's a small, nothing little case and you just need, 2 answers from a lawyer, maybe you can get somebody on the phone who can make 3 or 4 calls. But if it's anything that has any semblance of significance or importance to you, it's worth the time to put in the effort to find the right relationship, professional relationship with that lawyer. Okay, so you've been in an accident and you got hurt and you did your homework and you decided that I'm your guy. Thanks. I'm going to be your attorney. What an honor. Thank you. And so I want to kind of share with you a little bit what you can expect from me and from my staff. I'm going to treat you like the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's my values. I want you to be treated the way I would want to be treated if I was a client in another lawyer's office. That's the way I'm going to treat you. And you're going to hear right at the beginning from my mouth, and if I'm not there, from my staff, that I'm accessible. You're going to get my cell phone. Now, I don't need you to call me every time anything happens, but administrative stuff, here's this phone number for the office, call the staff, deal with my staff. I can't do everything. But I'll answer your call if it's important to you and you need to hear my thinking. I'll answer your call Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, Thursday morning. You call me, I answer the phone. I answer the phone if I'm awake. I think that's important. I kind of laugh at some lawyers' ads that I see. Oh, available 24/7. No, you're not. I'm available 17/24. I do sleep. But communication between me and you is important. And that's a high value for me. Moving forward, we have you come in. A paralegal will mostly, or legal assistant mostly, will be the one taking your information, your name, your address, what hospital you went to, who your insurance is, that sort of thing. It doesn't take a lawyer to write that information down and load that into the computer in your file. You have a doctor you're going to get medical treatment from, great. If you don't, I can make a suggestion for doctors that I've worked with over the years that are hopefully relatively close to where you live or where you work. And you don't need to have health insurance or pay them up front because of the relationship I have with them that allows me to send them you as a new patient, and they will wait until I resolve the case, and then I pay them. And wink, wink, if their bill is too big, I'm going to get you a discount. So as the days and weeks go by and you're hopefully getting better, you're going to therapy, you're getting function back to, whatever might have been a problem, you're going back to work. We are behind the scenes collecting the medical records and collecting the medical bills and getting your employer to sign a form that we send to fill out so we know how much time you lost from your job. We're calling the doctor to get the doctor to write that little note that says you should not work for this week, because without that note, the bad guy's insurance company isn't going to honor it. You can't just take off whenever you want to. So we put everything in the proper order, we document it. And now, happy day, hopefully sooner than later, you're better. You're doing, volleyball again, you're playing the violin. Oh, you never played the violin? Congratulations, you're not playing the violin. You're better, and it's time. It's time to try and resolve your case. And we wait until you're better and no longer seeing the doctor, because even if you're in a hurry, I don't want to resolve your case now and find out you got 3 more weeks of therapy and we don't include those bills in your claim and now you got to pay them. That's not right. So we wait until you're better. We collect everything. It's evaluated. You get a letter. I don't know that too many lawyers do this. Some lawyers just start getting on the phone with the insurance companies and negotiating a settlement for their client without the client even knowing it. I think that's wrong. I send you a letter before I start talking to the other guy's insurance, and the letter says, "Dear client, I think that you should get," I'm going to be silly on purpose, $100. So in order to get you the $100, I'm going to tell the insurance I want $600. That leaves me room to negotiate, and hopefully I can get more than the $100. But dear client, if you get the $100, here's what happens. I take out my fee, we pay the medical bills, and this is what you get. Now you may think that's not enough. You may think it's great. You may not understand it. Wherever I catch you when you're reading this letter, and you're going to call me, or you're just going to sign the letter. And if you call me, you'll come in, or we'll talk on the phone, or we'll talk on FaceTime, or on Zoom. But you and I are going to, again, communication is important to me. Keeping you informed, explaining. Now, in that letter, giving you my opinion about how much money you get, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not about to write a 30-page letter, and you're not about to read it if I send it to you. Explaining, I'm not going to explain. It's your name and some numbers. And you like it or you don't, or you have some questions. So anything other than you like it and no questions, and you sign it and send it back to me, then we're gonna communicate. We're gonna connect. And if I've missed something, great. Then you get more money and I get more money. Great. But maybe you didn't understand something, and now that I explain it to you, now you're very happy with it. So we get your permission and your comfort level to go ahead and try and resolve the case with the other party's insurance company, the bad guy's company. And then I'm going to try and negotiate and get you as much money as I can. And if it's that money that we wanted to get, so that example, that $100 or more, then I'm going to settle the case. I don't have to ask you for permission. But let's say I can't get it. Let's say they offer me 20 instead of 100. Well, now I'm going to call you up and say, hey, they're being dodo heads. Let's file a lawsuit. And you're the boss and you make that decision, but obviously now you're not going to get the money that I suggested you would get if we got what I suggested we should get, in my example, the $100. Okay, but what if they offered $99.50? Okay, you know what? I'm probably still going to settle that case, and the extra 50 cents, to make up the difference on what you would have gotten if you'd gotten 50 cents more, yeah, I'll take that out of my fee or something. I don't know. I'm not, that's not something that I never would do. But this is what you can expect. You can expect to be treated professionally, to have your concerns addressed in a timely manner, and hopefully you're not someone that expects immediate response 100% of the time. We do have other things we're doing. We do have other clients that are calling with more pressing matters sometimes, and sometimes not. Sometimes yours goes right to the top. But as long as you have a degree of understanding and patience and common sense, in a faster than you might expect and hope, I'm going to, or my staff is going to, address your issue and resolve your concern and give you the information you're looking for. So that's the first thing you can expect. The second thing you can expect is excellent result. I don't win every case. If you go to a lawyer and that lawyer says he wins every case, he's a liar, she's a liar, say thank you and leave. Doesn't happen. Lawyers lose cases, and it's not always the lawyer's fault. But an overwhelming majority of the cases, I do very well for my clients, and I get them more than that. Through that example, that $100, I get them more than that 100, and they're very happy. And I do this for two reasons. Again, because number one, I want to make my clients my best walking advertisement. I want them to say, wow, Paul and his staff were unbelievable. They treated me with respect. They addressed my questions and concerns and resolved them for me in a relatively short and very reasonable period of time. And at the end, they did great for me. I mean, the results, I was so happy with those results. So that's the first reason I do it. The second reason I do these things, again, going back to values and the golden rule, that's what I would expect, and that's what I'm going to give to you, my client, as someone who has honored me by walking through the door. So that's, answer kind of like number 1A. And answer number 2 as to why I do these things. My wife likes shoes. I mean, I got to keep buying shoes for her. Seriously, it allows me to have a lifestyle that is comfortable so I can prepare my children properly with letting them go to soccer camp, take a vacation once in a while, do the things that people do. Yeah, that's important to me. I've always understood that the reason we go into business has to be threefold. The first is that for me, I want to take care of my employees. I'm very, very proud that over the years I've probably had, goodness, I can't even think of the number, but I have 14, 15 employees right now, and they are in some manner beholden to me because I do well financially and I can give them money as salary and raises and bonuses, and they can take care of their families. That's their concern, as is everybody. Employees are the number one because they're my face to the world. They are out there on my behalf and on theirs because they love what they do. They're dedicated people. They work overtime and don't complain. They come in early and don't complain. They do what needs to be done for my clients. That's what you can expect as a client. But I take care of them. Next is the client. And it's not a choice, but it's just a natural progression. I got to take care of my staff, and then I'm going to take care of you, my client, in all the ways that I've already talked about. And then the third thing is I want to be involved in the community. I don't like people who don't have a cause. I don't care what kind of cause it is. My cause is don't text and drive. It's an important cause, that texting and driving causes injuries. You could get hurt doing it, you could hurt others doing it, and it could be worse than just hurt. People die. There's a lot of good causes. Pick one: the Red Cross, cancer, relief for disaster victims in countries that have been hit by floods or hurricanes. You know, everybody's got a cause. I think you should have a cause. I mean, if not, I mean, it's like, you know, how terrible a person are you that you think you're the only person on the globe? No, I mean, we're a community globally. Take care of somebody other than yourself. That's why I do what I do. That's why I think what you can expect when you come in, that somebody who is both feet in the water with you, who has values and morals and integrity and is responsible to you first, second, and always.